2016, we opened the big production brewery down the street with the hope and aspirations that we would be, the next large craft brewery. Kind of trying to fill that Stag footprint and, be the next Schlafly or Four Hands. And we spent an absorbent amount of money and brought on some great investors to help us make that leap into the big production brewery world. And for 2 years in a row, we were the fastest growing brew pub in the Midwest, which was incredible. And then, we just kept trying to grow faster and faster. And the reality is, when we knew Hofbrauhaus was going to open, we knew it was going to affect our sales negatively in the restaurant. So a lot of our focus went towards production so that we could sell enough beer nationwide, or try to get nationwide, to keep the restaurant afloat. So in the beginning, the restaurant paid for that, and then we knew at some point that would pay for the restaurant, or probably need to pay for the restaurant. So all of our time and energy got really dumped into 6435, trying to grow as quickly as we could. And we did. We had all of Missouri, all of Kansas, and then all of Illinois. We kind of decided at that point we needed to probably get out of the restaurant business and just focus on the production business. So we sold the restaurant, contracted for deed to a gentleman, and that did not work well. And then 5 months later, COVID hits, and then we're closed. And then we're open a little bit, and then we're closed again because of the governor. And then we're open, and we're not. So it's been a roller coaster ride for us at 4204, but unfortunately for our guests too. When we built that big production brewery, we spent millions of dollars doing that, which unfortunately means you spend a lot of bank money and create a lot of bank debt. And when we were growing and things were going well, there was enough volume to support that debt. But when COVID hit, and every restaurant in America is now closed, or at least the ones we're selling to, well, 80% of what we did down there was in keg beer. The other 20% was in cans. So grocery store side, that didn't fall off, but all of our volume in keg beer fell off to zero because there's no restaurants open, there's no patrons drinking. It just became a huge anchor on the business. Well, up until 2.5 weeks ago, we had limited seating, and on top of limited seating, the inability to hire anybody to help. So we have, between the inside and outside, we have almost 400 plus seats, and to do that, you need about 22 servers on a weekend night to make a restaurant function. And we used to staff probably 45 or 50 servers on our schedule, and right now we have 11. And we've had that problem since we reopened. So that limits us to only being able to open small sections of the restaurant versus the whole restaurant. So there it goes, that window of opportunity for profit too, because now you're only seating, a small portion of your restaurant. So after a lot of thought and time and crunching numbers and trying to figure out how do we weather this storm as best as possible, the reality is something has to change. And what has to change is we're going to have to put the production brewery up for sale. What does that mean? Because there's a banquet center in there, and there's people who have events booked, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that will not affect those events, because the way we are structuring it to sell it is we will sell the production facility and lease back the banquet side, because we want to fulfill all of our obligations that we have, but B, that is probably one of the best parts of our business is the banquet business. So we don't want to lose one of the best things that we do. So the 33,000 square foot facility down there, we have hired a realtor, and they will be listing the properties, and hopefully they'll find a buyer that can come in and take over that facility. It's saddening and it's upsetting, but the reality is that we need to get back to who we were in the beginning, And what made us, I say great, other people might disagree, but what made us great in the beginning was we were a local restaurant that served great food that made craft beer. And we kind of lost focus on that, and that's what we're going to go back to. So